Away from that, a high-level dialogue among stakeholders in the environment sector on Rosewood kickstarts the Joy Forum series tomorrow. In 2019, the Lands Ministry set up a 6-member committee to investigate alleged corruption in rosewood trade here in Ghana, which deprives the country of millions of dollars. The Committee of Inquiry submitted a report with specific recommendations to state institutions responsible for the protection of the endangered species. 3 years on, a number of the recommendations are yet to be implemented. The illegal felling, salvaging, transportation, and export of rosewood is still ongoing despite the ban in place. What options are available to stakeholders in saving Ghana's rosewood? How about the status of recommendations by the Committee of Inquiry? For the answers and more, join us at 10 a.m. tomorrow, live on Joy News, on Joy 99.7 FM and myjoyonline.com for the Joy Forum on Rosewood. Well, among tomorrow's discussants is the one-man Rosewood campaigner from Bole, Jeremiah Abubakar Seidu, who's joining us live on Zoom now for, what to expect tomorrow. Welcome to News Text and many thanks for your time. First of all, just share with us a bit of your experience as a Rosewood campaigner in the area you live in.
Thank you, JoyNews. It's been a very interesting but challenging process. If you are not passionate about the environment in this country, you will not venture into the rosewood industry, and not to talk about stopping it. In dealing with rosewood, you are touching on high-level powered people, you are touching on security people, you are touching on landowners, decision makers on the land, you are touching on young people, those you live with, you are touching on all kinds of manners of people. It is a trade that involves everybody in this country, including you and I, Joy and Jeremiah, in the sense that once you want to deal with it, someone there will come out and tell you, hey, please, remember I eat from this place. And it has been a challenging issue also. For the years before the government set up the committee, there were a number of allegations that government was involved, government agencies were involved, powerful people were involved. And that was the issue. For us, and for me in particular, I went into it because, one, it affected the vulnerable people mostly. We lost over 10,000 beehives to our widows in the operational area that we work because of rosewood. We also saw that rosewood was bringing together the destruction of economic trees, and we were bringing a lot of attention to people, but leadership was not listening to it. Now, most of the rosewood is gone. Most of the economic trees like shea are gone. Most of the economic trees like dawa are gone. And it's still ongoing. It is a problem. I really, really wonder whether this state, this country, this home of ours called Ghana really wants to stop the rosewood business. As I speak to you, yesterday I was at one of the processing factories that we closed, that the former regional minister for Savannah region closed, that a sea of wood that we impounded. You can go on and on. And the factory is still in operation. Yesterday, I'm talking about yesterday. Yesterday in the afternoon at about 12, I was in the factory, and the owner told me, yes, I'm in operation. And I said, wow. And one of the documents I saw that I was shocked was TIDD certificate that is expiring in 2021, December 31st. So, solve this problem.
Mr. Seidu, so does this just paint for me a very grim picture of the impact of felling rosewood, especially in the northern part of Ghana. We wouldn't want to give too much because tomorrow there'll be a lot of time to discuss the impact. But I'd like to know, for you personally, have you ever been confronted? Has your life been threatened as a result of this campaign that you've embarked on?
I have lost 2 of my vehicles. I have lost my official Isuzu pickup through shooting. I took my wife's pickup, Kia Sportage. I lost that to it. I have been threatened that I should leave my car and they'll pour petrol on the car and bench. I said, no, go ahead and do that. I have been threatened to drop a log when we went to monitor Rosewood around 11 p.m. A crane threatened to drop a log on the vehicle that I was working on. Even yesterday, when I was at the factory, threats of calls came. But for me, the passion, for me, God's work, for me, the vulnerable people, I would prefer to die in the name of Rosewood for the vulnerable people to get their lives lived on. And I pray that we see this as the oxygen of the North, and not just as Rosewood. Let's see the environment as the oxygen of the North. And when there's no oxygen, nothing else will happen.
Mr. Saidu, I'll come back to you to find out what your expectation of the Joy Forum on Rosewood is. But apart from this impacting people's lives and the economy there are some who've suggested that the terrible weather that's been experienced in the northern part of the country has something to do with the desertification as a result of the felling of rosewood and all the other trees you've mentioned. But joining me in studio is the project lead for the Joy Forum, Emefa Tiamwa Eli, and she's going to be sharing with us what to expect from tomorrow's event and what exactly they'll be doing. Good to have you here, Emefa.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
All right. So what should we expect?
Well, so as Saidu said, I mean, the problem is big than we all thought about. It's that big. So you are going to have stakeholders in the environment. We are talking about the Forestry Commission. We are talking about the EPA, the police, Arucha, and the Wildlife Society of Ghana. And everyone who has something to do as far as protecting the environment and our forests is concerned, they'll be there. You know, there's this report submitted by the Committee of Inquiry following the allegations of corruption into the trade of rosewood in Ghana. What is the status of that report? Specific recommendations were made to specific institutions to do certain things. Most of them have not been done. So these stakeholders will be quizzing some of these recommendations, and our own man, Evans Mensah, you know him already, will be taking them on one after the other so that we look at options available. In the past, the fight has been stopping or enforcement so that nobody even goes to the forest to attempt to cut the trees, transport, and even export them. This time around, beyond that, what else can we do? Because we have done that in the past. It doesn't seem to be working. You heard Saidu, his life has been under threat on so many occasions. He's lost property, his cars, and so many other things. And he's not just the only one. So we are having even people from academia who know the value of rosewood, persons in the industry who are using the wood to do business. Why is it so important? Do we even have it here in Ghana? How much of it do we use? How much does it bring to the country economically? What can be done? So that's the purpose of tomorrow's.
Are we having any government rep apart from the institutions, the Forestry Commission? Do we have?
So we've invited the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. Right. And we also invited the committee, the chairperson of the committee that conducted the investigations into the alleged corruption into rosewood trade in Ghana. Members of the committee will be there and some MPs as well. We hope that these are key policymakers who can make key recommendation or make commitments which will change the story of Rosewood in Ghana.
Definitely, we've brought you stories on the impact, and I'm sure that we will be seeing more of that.
Exactly.
My colleague Rafiq Salam did one.
And I also want to say that we are doing this in partnership with a US-based environment investigation agency, and you know they have done an extensive work on rosewood trade in Ghana. And it's interesting and heartwarming to know that, I mean, it's not just us, but even the international community are interested in what we are doing as a country, you know, and they would want to help to be part of the entire conversation, just so we can see the way forward in a more faster way and to protect the forest.
Obviously, I believe that due to COVID restrictions, this is largely strictly by invitation, but tell us, how can our viewers be a part of it, even in terms of contributing to the conversation?
Absolutely. So the forum is going to be live on all our social media platforms. It is going to be live on this portal as well. It is on myjoyonline.com. It is also on Joy 99.7 FM. So wherever you are, just as you've said, because of the COVID restrictions, we are all unable to gather at one place. So you can listen to the forum on radio. Contribute, hashtag Save Rosewood Ghana. Share your comments with us, text, Facebook, wherever you are. You can be part of the conversation. I mean, it's about us. If we are able to save Rosewood, Ghana's Rosewood, it goes to build the national coffers. It goes to increase whatever we want to do in terms of development and to better our lives.
I appreciate that's project lead Emefa Atiamo Eli there, giving you reason to make a date with us at 10 a.m. tomorrow. But before we leave this subject altogether, let me just take your final words, Mr. Jeremiah Abubakar Seidu. He's a one-man campaigner against rosewood exploitation in the country. So briefly, we've had a lot of conversations, like MFA mentioned, there has been investigations into this, even by international bodies, but the practice still goes on. What are you expecting after this forum in terms of dealing substantively with the problem?
With of the endangered species.
Leadership to continue to act as they have started acting in Savannah region. I want to go out there and say congratulations to the Regional House of Chiefs. They have taken up the mantle, and they themselves are going around and working on and seeing the effect. We want to get them to strengthen, support and strengthen them and make sure that this is banned. 2, we want to see a sustainable management of the resource. It has become a resource and we need to manage it sustainably. So we need to look at that. And 3, we want to see government to channel its special programs and projects towards these areas that have been devastated, this area that Rosewood is going in, so we can create livelihoods for the people and the communities and the youth, and see how we can go and afforest and plant and also make planting of rosewood. These are the 3 key things I'm expecting and hope will be acted on and not just talked on after tomorrow's forum.
I really appreciate your company this morning, and thank you for the fight that you've been waging in saving Ghana's rosewood. That was Jeremiah Abubakar Seidu, a one-man campaigner on the illegal felling of rosewood here in Ghana. And for those of you who think that this is remote, just think about it. The shea butter you use for your hair, some of you even cook with it. Just think about the impact of this on the environment. We'd love to hear what you think. Just as we did for Galamsey, let's do to save our rosewood. And the hashtag is Save Rosewood Ghana. The time is 10 a.m. and the platforms are JoyNews, Joy FM, and Joy 99. Joy FM and myjoyonline.com. This is News Desk with me, Bernice Abubeidulansa. When we come back, we will be telling you about the 2021 National Science and Maths Quiz. Do stay.